And so, folks, at this time, we want to welcome you to Focus on Liberia to our program, The Opposition Perspective with Rabbi Moncio Kpadeh, that comes on every other Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And as you are aware, our chief discussant is always here, comfortably seated, to give us the opposition perspective. At this time, let me welcome Rabbi Moncio Kpadeh. Some call him the General. Welcome, my dear brother. Another edition. How are you feeling? How is the homeland?
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Anthony. I'm ecstatic. I'm very energized. I'm very, electrified. I'm a man of God, man of great faith. So I bless God to be living and to be healthy and to have the opportunity to join you every 2 weeks, to talk about our country. As you may be aware, the country is not in good state. Governance is bad. And so when you ask me about the country and how I said, yeah, I think it's pretty bad. Why? Because the country is misgoverned. Why? Because there is national security problem. People continue to die here and there. Why? Because there is corruption. Why? Because the people are getting angry by the day. The people spending power has been such a long way. There's no hope. People are hopeless. And as someone who shared commonalities with our people, despite the differences in status and condition, I am hurt. I am unhappy. I am unpleased about the horrible state of governance our country finds itself. Yeah, so we are here, but we never give up. We are soldiers of God. We are good people. We are revolutionary. We are trained and wire and ideologue to resist the forces of evil. We continue to do that with our fear and favor. So that's why I'm here. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to come and talk about the country. I'm excited to have this conversation about the
Thank you.
growing concern of our homeland. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much. And hey, folks, who do we rather have here joining us on the opposition perspective other than Dennis Baku Kenjuja, the well-runner guy? He is here. He is comfortably seated as well. Our partner, welcome. Another edition, the opposition perspective. The general is here. How you doing?
It is always an exciting moment to be in the same space with the general, Robert Moncio Kpadeh. I follow you, Mr. Kpadeh, on the social media, and you always say it's not Uhuru yet.
No, it's not.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the opposition perspective with Rabbi Robert Moncio Kpadeh.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much, folks. Let me bring to you the issues that we have packaged. The rabbi will be drilling us through and using the eyes and political lenses of the opposition. So let's see. Issue number one here is what should be the makeup of the CPP 2020 ticket? The CPP, projecting themselves all over the place, politically speaking, as being the alternative. If they are the alternative, they can make all the noise they want. We want to see that ticket. We want to see the makeup of the ticket. The individuals, are they bringing characters that have the reputation? Rabbi will say the political wherewithal. Do they have that? That's what we want to see. Issue number two. Senator Nyomli Kanga Lawrence fires her staff because their staff was heard on one of the media institutions in Liberia saying, hey, senators have taken $20,000 to approve the printing of $48.7 billion. In no time, she acted swiftly and the guy was fired. Why is she hiding something? It's because what that gentleman said is completely false. We will find out from the opposition perspective. Issue number three, President Weah very recently said, I am not a politician. Is he right? Well, Rabbi is here to give us the opposition perspective on this issue. Last but not the least, Minister Nathaniel Magay, the Minister for Presidential Affairs, and Vice President Joy Howard Taylor have raised millions in bomb county. According to reports, they are saying they're raising the money to pay tuition for high school students or from K1 to K12 in Bum County. They have planned to raise $30,000, but report reaching us is saying they were able to get $73 million. And they said it is not government program; it is program that was put into place by individuals who are, trying to be good to the people of Bum County. And so, folks, these are the issues that we have packaged. Let me see if we are all set here to roll. Gentlemen, let's put Robert in the middle. Today, we'll try to throw punches from here and there, and we'll see how he can contain that. Dennis, let's get started here.
Yeah, let's do that. Robert, before we start, I always like to throw you a little teaser. In your opening, you said people are dying in Monrovia. The state is horrible. So I got my people in Lagoon and also in Banasville. When you say people are dying, I'm scared. So if people are dying, what are you doing to stay alive, Mr. Kpadeh? If this government is so bad and people are dying, well, how are you staying alive?
Because I'm disciplined. I'm very cautious. I'm security minded. I'm very regimented. I'm not in the street. I don't just get around anytime. I'm not a night mover. So I manage myself. When you live in such a country where every day there is a report, and then you see dead bodies around, and then you cannot find the culprits, find people who might have done that, for other ritualistic purposes, some cruelty. You have to be very, very disciplined. You have to be cautious. So I'm being safe because I've been cautious, God first. But you have to be disciplined when you live here because I'm not the one fabricating. I'm not fabricating a report. You see dead bodies around. A couple of weeks ago, we had people dying, and you know what happened just in Maryland? People, a boy got killed, parks abstracted, for ritualistic purposes. You saw what happened there. The revolt of the people in Maryland County. So there is an issue of security. I mean, no doubt about that. Everyone knows that. You know what happened the other day in Lima with people. We know the issue with the auditors and stuff like that. I'm rubber here and there, and Mr. Weah would tell us generally that look, we need to have CC camera and to begin to watch on our own security. It exposes how weak the government is and how insensitive and reckless, and how the government has been derelict on its function. It is a responsibility of the government to protect its citizenry. You cannot be telling the citizens to go by camera, poor, peasant, wretched citizens who do not have money. Do you know what it costs to earn or to acquire a set of TV camera? Pretty much, you're talking about $1,500. Now, it says to you how insensitive the president is when you tell citizens that do not have money, struggling to survive, starving, hunger is the day, cannot get meal properly, and you're saying they should raise over $1,500 US bucks to get
security. I got him started. I'm telling Mr. C, I say I got Robert started.
You got him started.
So there's a sign. There's a sign, So I think our country is is in hell, but we can't give up because there's no turning back. We got to face it. So that's why we are here, and we will continue to talk about it. We'll continue to act appropriately. We'll continue to get involved in the good actions that are needed to change things around and face this country. I think Mr. Weah and his bunch pretty much failing on governance, and it's becoming clearer by the day that they do not have what it takes. They do not have the temperament, they don't have the capacity and the wherewithal, to govern.
We're waiting for that wherewithal. Thank you, Robert.
So absolutely, yes, so this is where we are. This is where we are.
Folks, there you have it. Dennis Jaga, Robert Moncio Kpadeh started here on the opposition perspective. And so let us roll in our first issue. Mr. Kpadeh, you said it all. People are dying day after day, either through ritualistic killing or for ritualistic purposes. And there are other mysterious deaths that we are all aware of, and some of the deaths that have not been, substantive investigation to bring to closure, these deaths, and some of the reports are so scanty and unbelievable. And I don't want to bore you about the three missing boys who cannot be seen today. The principal suspect He's a free man, and the government is doing business with that guy. And so we can go on and on. But in all of this, the opposition must be that alternative it ought to be. That is why we are saying what should be the makeup of that CPP ticket. Because if you just bring any kind of ticket as opposition, chances are that you may get flogged by Mr. Weir. Some people might underestimate him. Somewhere, somehow, this guy is calculative. He managed to get the presidency. My father Tipote tried, he failed. My good friend Ishbamana Formula tried, he failed. Somewhere, somehow, this guy snatched the presidency. So don't overlook him. The question is, what should be the ticket for the opposition to project to the Liberian people? Yes, this is the alternative we have been waiting for.
Look, this is a burning concern. This is a matter of exigency. This is very important because it borders on the survival of this country, or if it made the survivability of this country. I have said repeatedly, I've written many times that governance is quintessential. We have Mr. Weir now as president. I do believe Mr. Weir came to the presidency after a stream of machinations. Whatever the case is, he will become president. It's not how you got the power. It's not just the scramble to get the power. It's how you manage the power effectively and efficiently to impact your people. The essence of political power is to ensure socioeconomic empowerment of the people.
Folks, we had a glitch. There's a glitch that we just had at the end of Robert Moncio Kpadeh. Bear with us as you continue to listen here, focus on Liberia. We want to remind you this is the opposition perspective. That is why, okay, he's back.
Hello?
Robert,
Can you hear
continue.
me?
Yep. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Did someone try to call you? Robert, did someone try? Yeah, you are loud and clear. Did someone try to call you?
Yeah, I think I saw a call coming. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's okay. Go ahead.
Maintaining the civil liberty of the country, ensuring people's rights are respected, justice is upheld. There's equal dispensation of the work, equal opportunity. The resources of the country are managed along the lines of property, along the lines of transparency and accountability. There's no witch hunting of political people you consider political enemies or political dissenters. These things are not happening. So because of that, the state in effect is being misgoverned, there is misrule, and you see our country is not far from being a pariah state. That being said, the need for a paradigm shift cannot be overemphasized. Let me be more practical. The need for Mr. Weir to be shown the exit door cannot be overemphasized. It must be done so with every emphasis at our command. And when I say every emphasis at our command,
the general
who are wonderful good citizens who want better for
the general. The general, if you can hear me, let do something here. That call you did receive compromise the quality of your voice. So restart your phone and come back. Restart your phone and come back. We'll wait for you.
And put your phone on do not disturb.
Anyway. Yeah.
And Mr. Sia, this is very important that you will discuss this issue about a possible CPP 2023 ticket. And CPP, you're not wrong when you say CPP, because even though we have other political parties, but from what we see, the CPP is the most serious of them all. And let's face the fact. So it is very important that a CPP ticket be vibrant if you really want to be a challenge to President Weir. And I like what you said, that don't overlook this man. No. I mean, say whatever you want to say about him, but since 2005, people, man falling, man going, and Weir is now the president. Let's cut to the chase, Mr. Kpadeh, about CPP 2023 ticket.
Yeah, so let me lay my point first. So I was talking about the exigency and the urgency that that is at stake to ensure that we work effectively, efficiently to get Mr.
Yeah.
Weah through the exit door. Mr.
Mr.
Weah has
Kpadeh,
put
adjust
everything
yourself in the middle. Adjust yourself in the middle so we can see you.
in place. Can you see
No
me?
more on this side. This side. Fine.
Am I okay?
Excellent. Yeah, excellent, brother. Yeah,
Okay, great.
excellent. Yeah, go
So
ahead.
we have to do everything. It's not a it is a general consensus for the most part that
Mhm.
Mr. Weah is unfit. His government has become a nightmare. He's misbuilding the country, and all the wrong things happening in abundance, and it's a total shame. It's an infamy. We're witnessing the worst and darkest period of our history. That being said, it will require an organized, well structured, responsible, smart, savvy, and suave opposition to unseat Mr. Weah at the barbacks. All right. So when you ask me, what can the CPP do? What must it do to effectuate the change required? I would say to you the first thing, number one, the CPP has to continue to reassure the Liberian people that when given power, the CPP government will govern the country different from what Mr. Weah is doing. We have to assure the citizenry. Our people have been subjugated to bad governance, deception for many years. All right, Mr. Weah promised change. He's been president going to the fourth year. It is up to you to decipher the change he has effected. I think it's a total misery the country is
The
witnessing.
general, you are still dwelling on Mr. Weah. The question is right on the screen. What
I'm
should
coming
be
there.
the make of the CPP 2020 ticket?
Yeah, so I had to put my thought in context first because you're not just going to throw Kennedy. The first thing, the CPP is not just about
Mhm.
individual; it should be about a movement and ideology. All
Okay.
right, and that
Mhm.
movement ideology must be sold to the people. And the way we sell that movement and its ideology to the people is the way we even govern ourselves as opposition people. Okay, our messaging, the things that we say, our own action. All right. So we need to focus on that because that's very important because that will be the basis for the people to say, look, you know what, we think this
I
is a
agree.
government in waiting. So
Mhm.
let's give them our confidence because we cannot be conducting ourselves like the ruling people. We cannot be conducting ourselves like the ruling clique. We cannot be, conniving and colluding with people,
Are you
taking to
surmising?
the legislature.
Is that why the opposition bloc doing? Is that why you surmising?
Well, I'm not surmassing, but I want to see an aggressive attitude in the legislature going forward. I want to see the opposition taking very radical, responsible, and effective position in the legislature because that's where governance begins from. Take, for instance, the issue of the the 48 billion to be printed by the CBL. I want to see stronger action. I want to see the opposition delineating itself or divesting itself from the debauchery in the legislature. So those will send a clarion message. The call should be clarion. All right. If we say, look, we are alternative, let the alternative be clarion to the people that indeed we truly. Now, that must be done, and that must be done along the lines, of serious political representation and the way we conduct ourselves, even within the CPP. All right.
Mr.
The
Kpadeh, what do you
amalgamation.
mean by debauchery in the legislature? What is debauchery? What kind of debauchery are you talking about?
I mean, debauchery is a piece of shame, a piece of misgovernance, poor organization, excesses, and iniquities, and abomination. I mean, that's a legislature that never been audited before. That's a legislature that does business with the executive. It colludes and connive with the legislature, with the executive to misrule the country, to misgovern the country. That's a legislature that Mr. We are taking from a call and say, I don't want to see a certain associate justice. And of course, they perform. That's a legislature that conduct no due diligence. That's a legislature that is derelict and dysfunctional. That's a legislature that will skip section, all right, and run behind Mr. Weah on his counter tour and abandon the duties thereof. I say one thing to you: Parliament, even though we say legislature, it does the same thing. Parliament is a word that originates. The etymology of parliament is parler. It's a French word. It means speak for the people. All right. So that's why
Mhm.
you say parliament. All right. The French etymology is parler, meaning speak,
Je
talk for the
parle
people.
français, mon ami. Je parle
Uh-huh.
français.
So when people go there, they should be speaking for our people rather than looking to brand envelope, rather than dashing the hope
Mr.
and
Kpadeh,
aspiration of the people. I want to see the
yeah,
opposition
Mr. Kpadeh,
lawmakers. Yeah,
Mr. Kpadeh,
yes, sir.
2023 is less than 2 years away. You are
Yep.
talking about what you want to see. The CPP has been in existence for some time now. If at this point you cannot see it, and I believe that's what you are suggesting, it's saying when it quacks like a dog, it's a dog. So if it's not quacking like a dog, it is not. So are you saying does the CPP have what it takes to unseat President Weah come 2023? Because
I
it
think
looks
it
like you
does.
can even come up with
No,
some
no,
names
no.
here.
The CPP does. I think the CPP has what it takes, but it will require organization and it will require doing some fundamental things. And I'm
And
saying to you,
why those fundamental things have not been
I
done
just
yet?
said to you, number one, the CPP lawmakers must delineate themselves and divest themselves from the debauchery obtained in the legislature.
No, my
They have to
question
be
is those
seen
things have
as
not
a
been done yet.
government. Let me
Those
land
things
my
have not been
point.
done yet. So when those things
Well,
that you are talking about have not been done yet, so
well,
are we hopeful?
Yeah, we are hopeful. We are hopeful. And what I'm saying here is to fire the winds. Is to fire the winds of the CPP, fire the winds of the CPP legislators or lawmakers. All right, that we need to do more. We need to do more. Yeah, you have been trying. The amalgamation is good, some of the statement, but we need more unanimity. We need more unity and unanimity amongst them in both houses. They need to be more practical. They need to put the issues on the front burner. They need to argue with fire and fury. They must do that. All right. That being said, what kind of ticket do I want to see? I want to see a winnable ticket. I want to see a ticket that presents an alternative to the Liberian people. I want to see a ticket with people who have got the experience, who've got the integrity, who have been tried and tested, who are experienced enough, who can manage this country, who've got the temperament. Our country has been divided politically for so long. We have historical grudges in this country. All right, Mr. We are continue to divide the country more. All right, and watching the division. Now you need a ticket. You need a leader that will come. All right, and be friend of all, enemy to none. You need a leader, okay, who has been tried and tested, has been through the ranks and fire of the governing structure. You need somebody with the maturity, all right, to unite this country. You need somebody with a regiment and the discipline. Does the CPP have that quality of people? Yes, it does. So I believe the CPP has its own formula. I believe the CPP has its working methodology by which candidates are selected. I believe the CPP should respect their formula. However, I also believe that Liberia is the greatest factor in what we do here. Our utmost concern, whether individually or collectively, no matter which political party you find yourself in, or your political leaning or ideological leaning, what should be paramount for each of us as citizens is Liberia. And so, if we want to effectuate a paradigm shift in the political governance of our country, who are the qualities of people do we put forward? Who are the qualities of people should our people give their uncommon power to many their votes to? The CPP, all right, must be able to look deep, void of sentiments, prejudice, and stuff like that. I do not believe the competitive space when it comes to who should become the head of the ticket should be prejudiced. It should not be prejudiced. I do believe that look at the formulas you have on the book. Look at the framework you have on the book. However, be aware
Mr.
that
Kpadeh,
this is about Liberia. And
Mr.
so
Kpadeh,
those will be the qualities I will look at. And so the CPP goes to its framework along to convention stuff
Mr.
like
Kpadeh,
that.
Mr.
Yeah,
Kpadeh,
yeah.
using your political lenses, you read the framework.
Yeah,
I know you are not a member of the CPP, but you are a member of the
absolutely.
opposition bloc. But
Yeah.
you read the framework, the processes lay out in selecting a ticket for the CPP. Question number one: are you satisfied with the processes are laid out? Do you think the processes are democratic? That's one. Second, because we have to go to the other issue, give me
Mm-hmm.
possible options. I'm not going to tie you down to, hey, give me a possible ticket. You may have options. I'm not sure. But
Mm-hmm.
give me possible options, A and B, as maybe option one, C and D, something like that. And attach names. This is the opposition perspective. Play hardball. Go
Look, I
for it.
tell you this much. In the first,
Mm-hmm.
the framework, the framers, look, there is not much political inclination in the CPP framework. It's written like a policy paper or some. It's not written like a political paper. I wish I wish I had an opportunity to be one of the inkers of that document. I would have twisted the content of that document to a more political, traditional stuff. They are
Then call
talking
them
about
to
VPS.
action.
They are
Call
talking.
them to action.
Well, I've said that. I've written all of the leaders long before, or 3, 4 months, that I had some issue about your document. The content of your document, the chemistry of your document is not political. You're talking multi VPS. You want to do the politics is local. All right. We know very well in the CPP. All right. We have people, but we know who has the confidence, the sentiments, all right, and the appeal at the moment. We know that. All right. At the end of the day, the biggest thing here
And
is
who is
we want
that?
to win. I tell you. So if you ask me, looking at the CPP configuration of the leadership, I tell you, Joe Barker has a good standing for many reasons. He brings the character, he brings the history and the discipline and the repute you want. All right. He matched Weir and beat Weir any day in a free fair election. Is he faultless? No, he's not faultless. All right. I think if you're matching with someone like Cummings, oh, one time, one shot, one shot. All right.
Yeah.
Again,
Mr. Kpadeh.
yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Kpadeh, let me bring you to a point before you land your thought, right? Let's say the CPP, because you're talking about framework. The framework that the CPP put forward, in fact, it was withdrawn. We also see that there has been a primary holding prime. There's been a challenge with holding
What
primary.
about with June? The framework with June?
Yeah, they pull it out and say, well, we made a mistake. This was the wrong copy. And since then, we never had the right copy.
No, but that has been done. They didn't let achieve few phrases. But
Right.
the framework in place, the methodology in place to select
Yeah,
the candidate still remain
let
place.
me let my thought and you can come in.
No, I don't want to make that correction and stay intact. The
Okay,
framework, the
because
methodology to select is stay intact.
I'm not saying the official framework now coming out for me to read it.
Do you not trust me?
I trust you, but yeah, let me let my thought here. So we
Okay.
also primary has been your challenge, and there is this sense of a Joe Barker coronation, which I think goes contrary to what the CPP wants to do. Okay, so with that in mind, I see that there is trouble brewing somewhere with the way the CPP proceeding into 2023. What's your thought?
Look, I think in the first place, I support the competition. I don't think the competitive space amongst the leader within the CPP should be prejudiced. I think it should be open. I think they should all remain respectful to their methodology contained in the framework. I think they should remain respectful of that. All right. I also believe they should engage each other. I think Mr. Boyka, who is believed to be a much more thorough person, needs to reach out more and more and engage everybody across the broad spectrum and then show everybody. Look, I'll tell you this much. Politics is about assurance. Politics is about giving people, reassuring people, all right? And giving people the significance they deserve, the recognition they deserve, and the respect they deserve. Even if they don't deserve it, create it and give it to them. That's the essence of politics. Reaching out to everybody. All right. Nothing hurts by doing that. So He has that responsibility. Cummings has that responsibility. Yombly has that responsibility. But I think I put a lot of spotlight on him because he's the elder. He's the elder statesman. All right. So he has to be seen doing more practical things, being seen expressing the not the clamor or hunger, but showing much more of the elderly role, showing
Thank you.
eldership and reaching out and
All right.
reassuring people. He needs to do that. He needs to do that not just for his personal ambition to become president or head of the ticket. He needs to do that for our country. He needs to provide leadership. He needs to show leadership. And I trust he has started doing that. I hope he does that more aggressively to show people, because politics is about showing people that look, you have a role to play. You have a part to play. This cannot work without you. We cannot succeed without you. We cannot succeed without Youngly. We cannot succeed without Cummings. We are nobody without Europe. Everybody has got a part to play. And if we take this mentality, all right, into the entire negotiation process, I think we can be able to net out a solidified ticket that everybody rallies behind, and then we get the desired result.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was Rabbi Moncio Kpadeh. And the
Do you like
program you
my
are
point,
watching
Dede?
is the opposition perspective with
Dede,
Rabbi
do you like
Moncio
my
Kpadeh,
point?
and that is his perspective on a possible CPPTK Camps 2023. And he just told us with Boaka and you and Cummings, they should have a better shot at netting the presidency. Mr. Kpadeh, thank you for giving your perspective on the first issue. Let us try to move to the next issue here, and we will let you to bring up the edited statement as he's been referred to. We want to have him here focus on Liberia to see whether he has that edited wherewithal, for the presidency. We want to test it here,
Yeah.
focus on Liberia. So that brings us to our next issue. Now, the opposition must remain the alternative in all its entirety. The leaders, what they do, must show that they will bring a different style of governance. But when we saw that Nyongli Kangalongs, because one of her staff made a statement, an expression of his free speech, that lawmakers are taking $20,000 to approve the printing, she was swift. I've never seen her that swift before. Two possibilities here. Either this is true and she understands the gravity of it. I'm the head of the CPP and somebody from my office is coming with this allegation. Apparently that person has seen me, myself, taking that money. Where can he possibly get the information other than my office? Not necessarily so, but that will be another thought. And so she acted swiftly. Another could be, no, this guy is putting out something completely false. So as a leader, let me act swiftly. What do you think?
Look, the capital building is a political place. I just emphasize to you that the opposition has to delineate itself, distinguish itself, or divest itself from the iniquities obtaining, the anomalies, obtaining in the corridors of the legislature. All right. I also said to you that legislature has vehemently refused to be audited. You use public money, you don't want to be audited. All right. We know of many instances where brown envelope continue to be thrown around to influence action or to influence the approbation of the legislature. The young man who works in the office of Senator Kanga came out, mustered the courage. I applaud him for that. Went to the radio at the peril of his job, even the peril of his own security. Not at the hands of Youngly, but security of other people, because he accused the entire Senate. So I had to applaud the young man for mustering the courage to do that and go and say, the people taking 20,000 each. This boy is privileged, well placed. He's been over there for a while. He's a special assistant. It's easy to get information in this country.
Right.
I thought and I believe he might have issued or released that information based on solid facts. He has a pedestal on which he stands on to echo such a big thing. That being said, I disagree. I think the action was very harsh. Even if the senator wanted to take administrative action, she needed to understand that it will boomerang. It will be a backlash. It will boomerang for so many reasons. One, the man is talking about bribery. That the Senate to which you are a member, ranking member, all right? The chairman, or I think rules and order or administrator, something like that, managing a lot of stuff, that each of you took $20,000. If I had the opportunity to advise the senator, I would have said to our senator, the first thing you do, rather than jumping to dismiss this ball or suspend the ball, the first thing you should do, senator, is rush to the radio, clear your name, and say, the Senate is a public entity. Everyone has a right. Insofar they have got strong sort of element to make a case against them. That's the person right now because they work for you. What you needed to do in the first instant case was to go first to the same radio station or call a press conference and say, well, the statement was general. And because I'm a member of the statement, I feel I've been accused by my SA or my administrative person, but he's a Liberian. He has a right to make a thing. I think he got some evidence to the effect. I want to clear my name. I didn't take $20,000. That was the first thing to do politically. Clear your name. All right? Clear your name. Clear your name. Secondly, you could ask the young man to provide evidence. All right? But to dismiss it or suspend, I don't know the facts. I've been so busy with academic work, with teaching.
He's been
So I haven't read more
suspended
detail in it.
without pay, Rabbi. He be suspended without pay in a Morovia that is this tough.
This, and again, very harsh and perilous decision. Why suspend a man who expresses himself, who discloses that the Senate has taken bribe without pay? What has his pay got to do with this action? All right.
And
so suspend somebody without pay is very, very strong. It's very, very harsh. And I think she need to roll it back. I think she need to reinstate the man and have the man to pay. And I think the senator, all she needed to do, just clear her name. All right. Because long before this ball came out, you know that we've been talking about the Senate and the legislature taking bribe. That's the legislature where people take money to pass resolution, people take money to pass this, people take money to that. That's a legislation that is, I always said it openly here. Maybe because I don't work for one of them, so I don't get dismissed. But we know this is an open secret. That's repeatable. Yeah.
Mr. Kpadeh, it is barely a month ago now. We've heard the same news about in the Liberty Party about Mr. Musa Ability buying his way through, practically, I want to say, in close quote, bribing Senator Kanga and Senator DeLong to get to the chairmanship. Within the same time, there's another allegation by the staffer of Senator Lawrence that they are taking money, and she's very swift. What can you, using your political lenses, what does this say about Senator Lawrence?
Well, it talks about intolerance. It brings into question her integrity. All right? Her integrity is at stake. You're a leader of a major party that is believed to be a symbol of transparency and accountability, integrity, as they say. The Liberty Party was established on the foundation of integrity. So you need to peddle that repetition everywhere you go. You need to characterize and display that repetition and add that repetition. I'm sorry, that's not the case in this point. You're being accused among several colleagues for taking $20,000 to lend your approbation to this set of stupid printing money stuff. All right? You need to clear your name. All right? Prior to that allegation, are you taking money here and there? So when you ask me politically, and I tell you fundamentally, it brings into question her credibility, for integrity, the issue of intolerance. You know,
So,
we have to
so,
hear
so,
people out.
so what's your suspicion here in this case?
In the specific case with the guy,
Yeah.
well, you know, I'm very careful how I throw things out to people. I told you my disposition about it. I disagree with her. The action is wrong. What might have necessitated her action? Okay, it rests on her shoulder. If she
Thank you.
cannot clear the air, and she cannot do what is right and do the needful, it rests on her shoulder. And I say to you, oh man, if you say your party was built or established on the foundation of integrity, the honor is on you to herald that integrity in everything you do, especially now as a leader. She has to show tolerance. She has to clear her name and stuff like that. Not
Thank
only
you.
Yep.
her, I mean, the entire Senate has to clear his name and has to
Right.
prove to all that he didn't take money. Suppose the young man, maybe the king should be asking the young man to bring to adduce evidence. Maybe he has evidence to make such a witty allegation against a powerful arm of government. You know, the Senate is very powerful. They got a lot of power, enormous
Yep.
power and everything, you know, to do anything to the young man who is defenseless, you know, and he comes up, find the courage and the temerity to come and say, look, don't buddy, you know, I think we
And
all
yet,
needed to
here's the
be,
other aspect I want to bring in, Robert.
yeah.
In all this, I don't see DeLong saying anything much substantive about the action of Senator Lawrence. DeLong, if you remember, you are a media guy, Robert. I believe when he was working for Joel Howard Taylor, DeLong had made similar accusation against the very Senate. And the Senate had pressured Joel Howard Taylor to suspend or fire DeLong. DeLong was pressured uh, to apologize, and he said no because he was sure of what he saw for which he made an allegation. Joel Howard Taylor was pressured. After a certain time, my understanding is that she gave in. So DeLong has experienced that which this young man is going through. And as a man who claims to be the man of integrity, he's not coming forth to say that, hey, it is the right of this young man, to say what he's saying, but he's quiet on the whole issue. So it begs the question of whether or not DeLong too is playing the same game that Senator Nyomli Kaka Lauren is playing. This is a young man who inducted the entire Senate that he works for, that this is what they're doing. He must have some evidence. So,
Of
I
course.
mean, I think that something is not right yet. The lawmakers, they are not clean. We know the law and Yombly took the $6,000 at a time, and they came up with justification. This is a pattern. Musa ability was clear. I financed these people campaign. He bought cars for the party. They had a decision to make, and they provided leadership. So this is a pattern. I think the action she took, it was more so to cover up. And this does not speak well for the CPP and Yomley and Dillon as well.
Uh, of course, I mean, I could not make my point any clearer. I've issued my disposition and my, you know, my indignation about the entire process. I hold what I say. You know, I speak my mind. I think it was a misadventure to suspend the ball in the first place. The very poor timing. Don't forget, it is not even the day has not ended yet. The day has not ended yet. Uh, where the Liberal Party continue to struggle with this whole allegation integrity here and there. And then the leader will be coming in the spotlight. This time not by outsider, but by someone within. She needed to proceed meticulously. All
Certainly.
right. And I hope she had spoken to somebody to get their consent or get their perspective or some advice or counsel before deriving a such decision. It was a fatal decision. Meaning it comes with long, long haul, far reaching repercussion. So it was fatal, FATAL, fatal decision, because it
Certainly.
had repercussions implication. And I tell you this much,
Certainly, and Dennis, the reason I'm dwelling on this is, let me bring you in, Dennis. The allegation that Musa Belete is facing, that is damaging the reputation of the party. The two of them survive unpolitically. They have not been able to speak to it openly and clearly. They have not been able to take decision. I mean, I'm breaking the two of them in here. Other than Dillon coming to justify away his so-called doctrine. All right? But that didn't address the quagmire that the Liberty Party is embroiled in. But here is Nyomli Kanka acting swiftly. That begs the question that something must be wrong here. Dennis, what do you think?
Yes, I try to bring in our friend Joshua F. Patakoli. He said, focus on Robert Moncio Kpadeh. Senator Lawrence has categorically denied through a phone in to Spoon Talk live show. She has no knowledge of, nor did she or any of her colleagues receiving any such bribe in this printing money instance. And her office assistant has acknowledged making a false accusation without evidence. FOL, you should have also tried to reach the senator just like Spoon TV did to ascertain her truth and that of her staff. I just wanted to mention that, Moncio, you are on the ground.
Well, I don't get to listen to all. I don't get to listen to all the network. I just told you I've been so busy with academic work, so I don't get to flip through all the channels and the station and stuff like that. Right. I just told you she needed to clear her name. So if she did that, fine. She needed to clear her name. She needed to come to either confirm or deny the allegation, because I think it's a very solid allegation. She needed to do that. If she did that, fine. But I was just telling you what my perspective would be on it, as I usually do. I think it's sensitive. I think it's grave allegation, and you can't treat it like nothing or ordinary thing. You need to give it all of the relevant attention required. But by the way, have you had a time to speak with the gentleman in question, with Mr. Sandler?
No, we haven't had that opportunity, and most of the time people react, right? I think Senator Lawrence, as you said, she was very quick to suspend. So she was like, after the fact, before you are even clearing your name. I think the best thing to do is to not just phone into a radio station, but have a press conference, have a position statement out there. Let's make that public, because not everybody will be opportune.
How many people? I don't get to listen to Spoon. I don't get to listen to Spoon, by the way, and I think it's at night and I'm sleepy at that time, because I work early morning to do my notes for lecture. So I better don't listen to them. I go to bed very early. By the time I get done with you now, I will take a shower and go to bed, because I got to work around 3 o'clock to do my lectures.
Thank you. And
Kevin,
the point you are raising about Senator Darius Dillon, the light, it's valid. They are all senators, but there's a lot that we have placed, or the public have placed, on the shoulders of Senator Dillon. A popular Nigerian proverb said, if you're not ready for sudden death, don't take your father's title. I believe Dillon has taken his father's title, and so there's much that we expect from him. So something like this, we expect something to come out of him, to say something, because as a senator being accused, and also the thing from Musa becoming the chairman still hangs around.
Look, I know this much. I think Dillon doesn't shy away from the microphone. He likes the microphone. I think you need to give him an opportunity. Maybe reach out. Again, maybe he has spoken, but Dillon can easily speak to the microphone. He likes the microphone, so he doesn't shy away from it. So
we have invited him 1,000 times, and we're still not able to get an interview. But that's besides the point.
I think he chooses where he goes. So and we respect that, but we'll continue to make effort. He is the people's senator, and we are the people's media institution. So we will continue to make effort and hope that one day we'll get him. And to the comment that you just read, Dennis, that person has a point. who could reach to that person. But this gentleman went public, so the information became public information. He was clear when he appeared on the radio. Senator Rowland was also clear when she issued a statement firing this guy that learned it in the newspaper. So the two person made it clear where they were standing on the issue. So we didn't need to, because by her firing the guy, definitely suggests that she didn't do anything like that. All right. And what the guy is saying is true. And so it's on that basis he went ahead and fired this guy without pay, I understand, for several months, a few months, I should say. So we don't necessarily need to get to her because she had made her position clear. Focus on Liberia, the opposition perspective here with Rabbi Moncio Kpadeh. I'm Anthony C. with my partner, Dennis Jai, and we want you to stay with us as we continue this conversation with Robert Moncio Kpadeh here on Focus on Liberia with our program, The Opposition Perspective. Gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll read comments from our audience, and then we'll go to the last two issues. That short break right now, stay there, don't go anywhere, and we will be right back. All right, folks, we are back with you here, Focus on Liberia, with our program, The Opposition Perspective, with Robert Moncio Kpadeh. Before we get to your comments, and Dennis, get ready for comments if you can. The next issue that we will be going to after the reading of the comments will be this statement by President Weah that he is not a politician. Did he tell the truth? What is he up to here? And how does Robert Moncio Kpadeh see this statement with his political lenses? This is The Opposition Perspective with Robert Moncio Kpadeh. Last but not the least, we have an audio from the press secretary to the president telling the Liberian people that Minister Nathaniel Magee and VP Joel Howard Taylor came together to raise millions for students in Bum County. Their plan was to raise 30, they raised 73 million. And they are saying this is not government effort. This is not government program. This is a program by officials of government in government doing the Liberian people's work, but they are going into their personal pockets to pay tuition for students in Bum County. Does that smell politically right? We will find out. Robert is here to let us know. Well, folks, let's get some comments. Dennis, are you set?
Aliu Suarez said the opposition are doing the killing in Liberia and lie on the government.
Wow.
You guys, all those guys in opposition are not trusted. That's the time we're talking about the CPP. Patrick Kennedy said, Mr. Kpadeh, please tell me your choice for the CPP ticket and why.
He did.
Agatha Shelley, why since the CPP put forth the framework that was read and what happened to it since it went back to the closet for the CPP being a year now, Quest, we don't know the framework because he's also your team man. I think he's saying you are selecting JNB because he's your kinsman. I get
I'm
that.
not a tribalist. Can I respond to that?
Yeah, we get that too. You know, I'm from Sino County, so I'm supposed to be supporting President Weah because we are Southeasterners. I hear that too. So don't worry about it. People speaking Dempster, if ABC is a smart politician, he should go as a VP and eventually claim the presidency, as JNB would drastically be caught up with age. Ali also said President Weah remain the best, so you should understand where he's coming from. Also, Mr. Kpadeh, you are recommending JNB based on the travel line. Alio Vamba, he should have kept his mouth shut. He had no business talking about anything that he could not prove. That's what the assessment of. In my opinion, the smartest way Mr. Cummings can get to the presidency is to go as VP to JNB. The reason is simple, because 4 years from now, JNB will drastically be cut off with age. This age thing, and watch out, focus on Liberia is coming out soon. What about Joe? We'll talk about that later. Talking about Senator Yombli Kangad, Jiba said, you don't like our senator, which I know. He accused those senators that signed the resolution, not all the senators. Mohamed Toure is making that correction.
Okay.
Bruman said, no, he does not have any evidence. And I think you should call the senator and ask her. I feel you and your guests should do more research before reaching a conclusion. Right, Fanosaki, gentlemen, is Senator Abraham Dillon a man with integrity? I think we think so, unless you can prove us otherwise. I believe the station belongs to the government. I think he's making reference to Spoon Network. We have no proof of that. Last but not the least, let's go to John Sonnenborg down. The Senate passed the bill. I remember you said we're never going to pass. Robert, you said the bill was never going to pass. Now the Senate passed it. Quickly, your reaction, Robert.
Which bill?
For the money. I think it's talking about the printing of the money.
Maybe that point did not listen to me. I have never doubted this, the legislature, not only the Senate, ability to do the wrong thing. This institution does the wrong thing. It has an outstanding record for doing the wrong thing. So why would I doubt it? All right. All Mr. Weah needs to do is just throw some cash, and they run behind the cash. So it doesn't have. That's why I use the word disreputable. They are incorrigible and they are disreputable, and that's it. So they will continue to do the wrong. Doesn't suggest that we can express our consternation about that. We'll do that. We'll continue to do that. The way to fix the spoil in this country is for us to have a conversation about it. If we also expose it, and expose the perpetrators of the sport, and we'll do that. No one made any conclusion yet with Yombli. That's pure nonsense and gibberish. No one made any conclusion. You asked me some question about what happened. I told you politically what would have been my action, what I believe she should do. I have the right to my position. All right, and I speak as a politician and not just ordinary politician. I'm not just ordinary politician. When I come to the show to talk, I talk like a steep and depth resource person. I've been around the politics for a while. I was 21 years journalist in the country, writing in the country, 21 years. So, and then before becoming a political actor. So I don't think I come here talking like one decapitated chicken. When I come here with some sense. I come with depth and steep. So when you ask me the question, I answer the question properly the way I'm supposed to answer it. And that's why I say it. I stand by it.
And then on the JNB and the travel line charges?
I'm not a travelist. You know me. The first thing, I'm a man with diversity, my ethnicity is diversified. My mother is a global Bassa woman. All right? That's why they call me Moncio, my great-grandfather name. Then my father is a Lama man. All right? For the most part, my father spent most of his years on the low part. Went to school in Egypt, went to Russia. So he has cross international, experience, So you see my ethnicity, the diversity of my ethnicity. So the girl people in the Bazapo can claim me. And the Lamapo can claim me. Joe Boga's a kissy man. By the way, he's my uncle traditionally. So what a tribal thing there. People who know me are not a tribalist. All my work, I have never written in from that standpoint.
Right.
Or journalism, no one know me to be a travel law. I don't dazzle myself into that kind of nonsense.
Thank you, Robert.
I'm an international scholar, hybrid scholar. I respect people and people. I don't do that thing. And yes, it's not my thing. I'm a man without borders.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
So why would
Robert.
you can't talk about
People,
tribalism and this? I don't believe in that thing. When I talk about
people,
Joe, let's go why I support one. All right. I said to
thank you.
you,
We'll have a
I
separate
think
show on Joe Bwaka, and we want you to
but let me
discuss.
lay my point on this because that guy said it 3 times. He kept saying, "I am trouble man, I am trouble man." I said to
And
you,
Robert, you made
I
yourself
want a
clear.
Yeah,
candidate.
we are you clear on that, Robert?
Robert, you clear on that.
Okay,
We work with you. We know
okay,
you are not what he's trying to make you to be. So
Most of
don't
the
bother
time,
about what
okay,
is not true.
it's the lazy way that we respond
okay.
to things. Okay, if you
You know,
say something,
even here we get that, and then it's to you because we are from the southeast. People think we are
Yeah.
for Joshua, but we are on record here doing analysis and looking at
Mhm,
Mr. We are in his face. Say, no, brother, you are a kleptocrat, and we said it, but still, people don't believe
mhm,
we made that when we say it. All right, let's bring in
mhm,
our final issue. We will have to take some calls. So for the final issue, let's go as fast as possible so that Robert, you can have the opportunity to interact with some callers here. So this one is he's a kind of political what they call it spies for you. President Weah is on record for saying he's not a politician. Do you find politics in the statement, Robert?
What prompted the statement? What what instigated the statement? What was he saying? There's
So
always
you
there's
want me to give
always
you
a
context?
storyline behind the story.
You want me to give you context?
Yes, please.
So FIFA has these projects going on in Liberia, trying to build some football fields in Liberia so that the young people can be engaged in the area
Right.
of sports. And the Tusa fee is one of those projects got completed. And as you know, the president, even if there is a little hot for market in South Stand, he will show up there to dedicate. He is the dedicator in chief. So he show up there, to dedicate this to Safi as though we don't have a minister of youth and sport. The president got to be there. And so this is a project not funded by government. And the president showed up and he was trying to boost his morale as he will always do. That look, I was just employed by the Liberian people to do for them, and I'm not your typical politician. And that was when he made the statement. So I don't know. Is there any politics in this statement, or is that just a
I
true
think it,
statement?
I think it's hilarious. I think the point is that he doesn't know how to communicate. He's paralyzed when it comes to communicating and expressing himself. He's very paralyzed. That's why I don't fault him for that because he has a paralysis. So with respect to expressing himself and
What
communicating,
kind of paralysis? Political communication paralysis, or what? You got to quantify that or qualify that.
he has a
Hmm.
speech impediment. That's a paralysis. He has a speech impediment. He's not able to express himself well. He's not able to pontificate soundly. Because why would you say, if you understand who a politician is, and why would you say he's not a politician when he is an active politician? This man's been a politician since he decided to seek the presidency for the last 12, 13 years. He finally succeeded. He became president. He's a political actor. The presidency is a political job. You go to people and say, give me your vote. They vote for you. You go and say, I get the agenda. I will do this. It's politics. He is an active politician. He's a chief politician in the country by way because he's the president. All right. If he said, I'm not a political scientist, then he will make sense to me. That argument would be sensible. But to say I'm not a political actor, it just, one loose to me, man. He just made it what he didn't know what to say. When he get on the stage, he's excited always, and sometimes he's just hilarious. And why would he not be a politician? 12 years, he's opposition politician. He made all the speeches here, and he did everything here. He's president now. He's the active politician. The presidency is a political place, so he's a politician. Was he trying to say, well, I'm not a typical politician, don't perform what XYZ? Look, the first thing here, we know the two-star fee and FIFA project. He wants to scope political capital of every little project. It should not even be there. It should have been left because it should not be politicized in the first place. It's against FIFA rules to be doing that. That little pitch for young children, all you needed to do, have the youth and sport minister go there, the FMN go there, and commissioned it. But Mr. Weah wants to stay. She's desperate to make a comment. He's desperate to make political capital. Time closing up on him. So he goes there and cannot be able to speak well and speak soundly. And so he said gibberish. So
Right.
I don't take that serious. It's just one of the many things Mr. Weah speed out. We got to take the speed out. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's senseless.
But you said the president suffered speech impairment. I think that was you misspoke.
Eh?
You said the president suffered from speech impairment. I think you misspoke.
No, not speech impediment, not in the context that he can't talk.
Okay.
All right? All right? Impediment not basically because you can't talk. What I'm trying to say contextually is that the man talks, but he struggles to talk. And the man told you, I cannot speak. Did he not tell you that? Isn't that what I'm saying that? I cannot speak, or do you not know that he doesn't speak? Not just that author to open your mouth to talk and make sense. All right, to talk and speak grammar and make sense and postulate a sound message. Does he do that? Can he do that? No, he doesn't. So that's an impediment.
All right. All right, Rabbi, let's bring in the last issue so we can bring in our callers quickly.
When you are unable to do something, you are impeded.
All right, we will leave it there.
There's impediment. So yeah, next time you could talk.
But
he talk to make logic. The man
all right, I think the president was trying to, he was being political. And first of all, I agree with you that President Weah is a politician. I'm not sure what point he was trying to get across. Was he trying to distinguish himself from all other political actors, that he is not our usual and known political kind of actors? Is that what he was trying to say? But like you said, and I agree, a man who started seeking political office since 2005 and who contested for presidency two times for the presidency and one time as a vice presidential candidate, a man who contested as senator, served as senator, now president, is the leader of a major political party in Liberia, have been a lifetime political leader, the guy upon whose instruction anybody will be fired, a guy upon whose instruction a sitting associate justice will be booted out of power. And for him to come and say he is not the kind of traditional politician, he fits the definition of a textbook kind of politician in Liberia, a man whose budget is fatting like a fat cow, that is the only one sitting in the middle of the grass. I mean, for him to, I think that's why he was trying to say, I'm not your quote unquote kind of typical politician, but Mr. Weah, you fit the definition of a classic political actor who, by definition, carries all the baggages of a politician. So no, I agree with you, and he's dead wrong on that. But let's bring in our final issue here, which is Nathaniel Magay and VP Joel Howard Taylor team are in Bond County raising millions. What are they up to? Are we seeing this VP and the CDC coming back into this marriage that has been politically sour for some time? They plan to raise 30 million. They raised 73, we are told. We will roll in the clip here quickly for the viewers to see. Rabbi will come and analyze. Folks, watch.
Late last week on Saturday, there was a 30 million scholarship drive for students in grade school students in the Bond County. That was launched by the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. She's from Bond County and was supposed to launch by the dreamer or the visionary of that particular program, Minister Nathaniel Magay. He had a vision. I just want to make it clear, some people have already reported that this is a government initiative. It's not a government initiative. People who believe in education giants like the President of the Republic of Liberia, Nathaniel Magay, and some of his friends, that their own vision of helping the buttress government efforts. So their friends and other friends of education, other friends of Bond County contributed to have this initiative, this program taking place. So they had a dream, they had a target to raise 30 million Liberian dollars. But for them, if you have a better program, like buttressing government efforts, where government is paying wise fee, where government is giving free tuition for tertiary institution and public university. I think those are grade school level parents need to also be supported. So there were a lot of people who came on board to help raise funds, and with Mr. Magate knowing how to raise money, being a friend to education, having a lot of friends, they were able to raise about 73 million instead of the 30 million.
So, folks, there you have it. Nathaniel Magate is a dreamer. He is a visionary. He knows how to raise money. The question I have for Rabbi with my eyes open is, when was the last time Magate raised funds for anything serious in our country before coming to political power? Robert, let us know.
It's pretty astounding to me to see uh, Mr. Mangiel and the vice president were teaming up to raise money. Well, in the first place, we do not fault, we do not rebuke good intention, but let's get into it contextually. The first thing we want to know, they said to raise the money is not government money, raise the money, but don't forget they are political actors. Both Mr. Mangiel and the vice president are political actors. So, in the spirit of transparency and accountability, they should tell us from where they raised 70 plus million. All right. In the first place, we want to know how you raise the money, from who you raise the money. So if you believe in transparency and accountability, tell us how you raise the money. We know Maggie never had money before. So now you're raising millions of dollars now. You wanted to raise 30 million, you're raising 70 million. I want to ask them respectfully, can you say to us from where you raise the money, who gave you the money? Can you publish that? Since it's not government money? Okay, because even if you use your influence, all right, equal amount to abuse of power, equal amount to expropriation of power. It's in the office of the presidency, all right, expropriating the presidency, that's enormous power to manage the office of the presidency. You can do anything, you can pick the phone. Who doesn't want to befriend the president's office? Who want to be mean to the president? So if this thing is done genuinely, please publish the list of the people, your funders, or your financiers, or those being running the process in the first place. Number two, which is a political aspect. This is all a political roadshow. All right, it's a political roadshow in an effort to massage the anger of the Bone County people. Look, for the last 2-3 years, things have been sour. Things have gone nuts and worse between Mr. Weah and Vice President Joa. And it had been so horrible, and it came to the public attention at some point in time. They would not speak. They were exchanged to the press uncharitable comments, all right, thrown at each other. And of course, proteges of the president, of course, have thrown some uncharitable comments to Joa. This has caused them severely in Bone County with respect to their political support. So Weah is getting very, very infamous, very, very, very unpopular in Bone County because the people believe he has been subjecting their daughter to despair and misery. And there will be a political consequence for that, again, in 2023. So the way to reduce the anger of the people and change the dynamics is to now begin to throw some political agendas, all right? Raise some money for Bone County high school students, work with Joel, go there and present it to the people, create an uptake that all is well. You're working with Joel so that you'll be able to play on the minds of the people, the mind games. That's all, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. Don't know Mr. Magay to be an educator. I listen to the PR guy saying he's a big educator. He's an educator. He's a promoter educator. Can he say when? He come from Bapolo. Bapolo is a poor, wretched county. Students are and poor. All right. When did he raise money for Bapolo County? All right, to help the student there, to help high school there. When did he go there to build a school? Now he can raise 70 million to go to Bone County. Well, the undercurrent is politics. It's all politics. The character is politics. The game is politics. The optics is politics. And all intended to massage the anger of the Bone County people. That would be my simple comment to that.
Good. Thank you. The broader question here is this whole thing about education. And viewers, please, our phone lines are set. You can call. The number is right there on the screen. That's the phone number to join the conversation. We have a few more minutes with Mr. Kpadeh. The broader question here is this whole thing about education. In most things, education, healthcare, you have access. These are the issues. You have affordability and quality. Where does this come from that the government of Liberia always trying to circumvent doing things through the Ministry of Education?
Well, but these are people.
Anytime we see that there is a problem, we think we can just throw money there. Oh, okay.
But this is the byproduct. This is a byproduct of misgovernance, misrule. All right, people and this continue. The people continue to validate the argument that we proffer that they lack the know-how. All right, to govern the state. The country has been misruled for two reasons: because of greed, and the second thing because of incompetence. All right, the government has an institution through which a work or oversees education matter. That institution is the Ministry of Education. When you want to do anything in Bonkara with respect to education, you work with the Ministry of Education. Understand the problems. What are the conditionalities? All right, challenging the schools there, facing the school there. All right, what need to be done? But under the blue sky, quick fix, political moves to get political capital. You jump into Bond County and carry 70 million there. All right. Now we don't know the schools that will benefit this. We don't know the students that will benefit this. We don't know how to derive out the students that will benefit this. Nothing structured. They are not structured. All right. They are not organized. All that is obtaining is to get political capital. Why for votes? Nothing more, nothing less. You cannot run a country on subterfuge. You can run a country on such a disorganized style and fashion. All right, the result will continue to be 0 and 0 and 0. That is not how you do it. It doesn't work that way. So let's talk about it. Let's see how let's talk about the accountability of the process in the first place. All right, and then look at the structure of the intent. All right, the intent is of course political, and so what does it benefit us? What does it benefit us? Because someone trying to kind of salvage a political, a political capital in Bond County, you throw 70 million there to help us student, quote unquote, struggling high school students, stuff like that. Is that what the Bond County people need? How is that sustainable? So after 3 more months or 4 more months, will you take another 70 million there? That is not how we fix a country. That is not how we improve education. We need policy prescription to address education issue. We need to fix curriculum. We need to give opportunity to the school, to faculties. We need to do a whole lot. So this thing is not a quick fix thing. We don't do it that way.
Thank you, Robert. And Mr. Sia, we don't have a caller here, so let me put this comment. Patrick Kennedy said, Mr. Sia, the last question, is it necessary you guys need to stop playing politics with education? Bond County students deserve what happened on that fateful day, gentlemen. And most of the time, what we also see is we don't analyze anything. We don't.
I'm having problem.
We don't try to see what the root cause of an issue is. Just out of the blue, we find a solution without even knowing what's happening. This is sad. Yes, schools need money, but where do you put the money? That should come as a result of some study, some analysis as to what needs to happen for the lives of the people to change, or for the educational system to do better. By raising 30 million, good job, but what is it going to do? What's the plan?
Then no, go ahead. And somebody following here, this is Comfort Hearing. It said it is not true, Mr. Mange in hospital abroad. So that is not true. We just played the video of the presidential press secretary giving a briefing, mentioning Mange by name, calling Mange the dreamer, the visionary, the guy who knows how to raise funds. And yet, Comfort will tell us we are lying. Mange did not raise any money. But I will.
Comfort is asking if Mange is in hospital abroad.
But she said it is not true. Mange in hospital abroad.
This one, the comment says, is it true? She's
is it true?
If it is true.
Okay. All right.
She's asking if it is true that McGill is in hospital abroad. We don't know.
Oh no, comfort then. I apologize. I did not read the comment very well. We're on the subject, so that's all that why you were speaking to. Sorry. Dennis, thanks for making that clear to me.
All right, we lost the general because of our internet connectivity over there, some issue. But we have one caller on the line, and that's George Lobo. Are you ready, Mr. Cia, to take George Lobo?
Yeah, George Lobo, go ahead. Lobo, go ahead. Mr. Lobo, you are live.
Thank you very much, Anthony, and thank you, Mr. Ja. Let me take this time to thank the senior brother in studio, Moncio Kpadeh, the general himself. Anthony, just to follow up on where Dennis left off, it is sad that governance have now been reduced to a political mirage. It's where people just sit down. When you happen today, then you guys come to a decision about the country. This is not the first time this government have made this mistake. We saw the government pronouncement of the free public universities. Let's take the president of the university testimony that says the pronouncement of that particular policy. Public universities have been running at a deficit. Anthony and Mr. Ja, we have schools now, it's been reported, that teachers are literally walking out of the classrooms and going on their farms because one, they have not been paid, there's lack of supply. So I don't understand how this government intends to improve the educational system of our country with these several policies. There can be no quick fix to an institutional problem. This is the same thing we said. The fundamental underlying costs must be identified. People must conduct studies. Policymakers must give recommendations to the government. But these one-off scenarios here for political capital, the government is going to campaign. We understand that. But this is an embarrassment to us. You bring 7 million today, what happens? 17 million. 17 million are going down in reality. How much is it? The rate is 173 right now in Ghana today to $1. That money is nothing. You have public schools in Bangla, the Beaufort High School, leaking, lack of chairs. President, we are in 2020 State of the Nation said he was going to make available over 1,000 chairs for public schools. Up to today's date, there's no record of one school that benefited. All we hear just lies and lies. So I just John Moncio to say myself, but I thank you for highlighting these issues. And we want to focus on Liberia. Please, maybe you guys please do us a favor to invite the Minister of Education and so me. We want to understand if these policies have been advised through the Ministry of Education, or what is the role of the Ministry of Education on this? Because it seems like the executive mansion one day when President Williams happy, he makes a policy pronouncement in the absence of the Ministry of Education. So we are confused. Please focus on Liberia. Do us this favor, or even ask lawmakers. We need to hear hearing on what the plan is to improve the educational sector of our country. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you,
Thank
George.
you, Mr. George Lobo. Dennis, do we have another caller?
No, that's all the callers we have.
Okay. All right. Then we will try to wrap it up here. And George Lobo, thanks for saying that. We here Focus on Liberia have made effort about 3 times to the best of my recollection, trying to get the Minister of Education to come here and help us understand government education programs. But hey, he saw the messages and he chose not to respond. We even tried to reach out to him through people that he knows personally, and nothing materialized. Dennis, I think we have exhausted our time since we don't have caller. Let's read a few more comments. And then I see that the general is back here with us. Let's read a few more comments here. This one is from Patrick Kennedy, George Lobo, Robert Moncio Kpadeh is not your senior brother. You guys are the same age, my man. Wow. Well, let me leave it there. George Lobo, how far you guys gone with this dual citizenship bill? Buddy, somebody is asking that question. This is the one I actually wanted to read from Kate Dempster. I agree with the guest 100%. The whole fundraiser was intended for political gain, that person writes.
Bright Saki again. I agree with the gentleman about the root cause of the Liberian lack of development and the needed integrity among Liberian officials is that they run after cash instead of dedication of duties and integrity. Too sad. I think we are almost out of time here. Let's get Robert, and then we can close the broadcast if nothing else, Mr. Sid.
Yes, let's do that because we have another broadcast or another show coming up here. So, Robert, again, we will not always have all the words to say thank you for coming up all the time here every other Sunday to give the opposition perspective on the government issues affecting our country. As you always say, I mean, if it has to do with the things that matter, I, Monsieur Kpadeh, will avail myself. I will oblige myself. You know, it's a national duty. And I personally, in the public matter, want to say thank you for imparting knowledge at the University of Liberia. I was once a student there. I know how challenging it can be going to school, not only for students, but also for teachers. I myself, I was a TA, not at a university, but at one of the high schools there in Liberia. It's a challenge. And this is child still on time. And I can imagine what is going on right now. So we'll
Yeah.
get your parting comment. And so we can call it a day. And a week after next, we'll be here again for another exciting edition of the opposition perspective with you. Rabba, Monsieur Kpadeh, the General.
Well, thank you. Sorry, let me apologize. I had to have interruption from calls coming in. We got to work
Yeah.
on this stuff, not to get
Mhm,
distracted. And then by the time the call comes in, then you have to go off. So sorry
mhm.
for that. Yeah, people keep calling. But again, thank you for the opportunity. I will always come and lay down my thoughts on these issues. What I say, I stand by that. Dennis, I said I misspoke. I didn't miss. I did not. Then with respect to the president impediment, he does have an impediment. He stutters. That's impediment. So when I use the word impediment, I spoke quite correctly. I'm very careful how I utter my words. You know. But let's do this over and over again. Yeah, we're going to find a way to see with respect to the request how we can be able to engage Mr. Boyka to come over here and have a conversation with the diaspora and the rest of the world. This is very important. I think there are a lot of things been playing around there a year that he's trying to do, a whole media road show over the next 1 month. So I'm sure FOL will be considered. We'll make that case. Again, the opposition has a lot to prove, has a lot to do. It has to be very serious. It has to divest itself and delineate itself from the all the anomalous or abnormalities obtaining in the legislature and the corridors. I mean, it's not good. It's wrong. It's reprehensible. The way we can face this country is for us to stand up and say the truth. Those who are in power will not like us. I know they throw a lot of shit at me. They say a lot of things about me. They throw diatribes at me. I don't care. I don't mind. I have a thick skin. All right. I do not hate Mr. Weah. But we own this country together. This is not his fiefdom. If he does well, I will say it. I'll be the first to say it, and I say it with loud tone. If he doesn't, I will rebuke him. 12 years, he rebuked others. So I will speak my mind, So I fear no guns. I fear nobody. I stand up for the truth, and I do what I have to do. I'd like to thank you guys for the opportunity to interact with fellow citizens, in the diaspora and around, the world. Yeah, when we come here, just give us a platform to be able to lay down the points. We hope we meet your expectation every time we come and serve and give our thoughts and serve and serve the do justice to the show. So we're looking forward to be back here week after next by the grace of God. Thanks be to Allah for the opportunity that He gave us to be healthy and alive to come and talk about our country. So God bless you.
Thank you so much. In 20 minutes, we're going to have on point. We have Mr. Jerome Gateman, who is an unabashed sedition. He's going to be debating the issues with Mr. George K. Tuley. Then at 6 o'clock, we're going to have April 12, 1980 in retrospect with two people that know a little bit more about that fateful day. That's Mr. Samson Bito and Mr. Manu Freeman. Also coming soon on FOL, we have the Liberian Study Association Hour or the Liberian Study Association Colloquium. This is going to highlight issues and academic stories within the LSA. Don't forget, every Thursday we have our Roundtable Africa.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. This Wednesday is going to be, you remember the guy Mongofoli. So we have Mongofolification. That's coming up this Wednesday. And this Thursday, we have the Tough Talking Thursday. 3 issues we're going to highlight on this is Mr. Joe Boakai, the Joe Biden of Liberia. Is Mr. Alex Cummings a stranger to Liberian politics? Was President, we are right to say that he's not a politician. Please, you don't want to miss that.
And coming soon, Dennis, let me bring this one in. Coming soon to focus on Liberia is a decentralization summit. We will be talking about how we can decentralize the Liberian government to meet the needs of the Liberian people. We are still working on the modalities, but as things stand, we hope to resume this program on the 1st of May 2021. You do not want to miss it. It will be an exciting edition here at Focus on Liberia. With that, Rabbi, again, we can't thank you enough for always coming. This is how we will come to the end of yet another exciting edition of the opposition perspective with Rabbi Moncio Kpadeh. And you know we do not close without playing that song that unites us. That's a patriotic song that says we are all Liberians. Thank you for watching. We catch you on point in the next 15 minutes. Salud, Rabbi. Bye-bye, folks.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.